Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about staying in your lane. Now, it's something that a lot of people understand and it's something that a lot of people prefer, but for some odd reason, they tend to make exceptions depending on who they're dealing with. And just overall, staying in your lane is the better option. Hands down, no counter argument to that. So to just go ahead and get started, one of the first things that you can do to set up your lane and to stay in it is you need to set boundaries. And beyond setting boundaries, because anybody can do that, but once those boundaries are tested, they cave and they allow whatever individual, for example, to influence them. You need to set your boundaries and you need to maintain them. Now, setting boundaries isn't as straightforward as a lot of people think it is because there's a lot of thought that needs to go into it. Why are you setting up that boundary? Is it a value thing? Is it a moral thing? Why are you setting that boundary? The why behind why you're setting a boundary will strengthen it. That's one. Two, in terms of maintaining it, don't make any exceptions for anybody, regardless of who they are. Family, friends, random acquaintances. If you set up a boundary, you maintain it. No exceptions. You don't gamble your boundaries or your morals or your values. Just hands down, no. So that's the first thing. The second thing that you'd also want to do is reduce the clutter in your life. Because oftentimes a lot of people, they say that they're in their own lane, that they're doing their own thing, but then you realize that they're not making any progress when they're in their own lane. Why? Because obviously when we reference staying in our own lane, it's sort of in comparison to a lane on the street. They have all these obstacles that they've thrown in their way on that street, and they haven't made any progress whatsoever. So reduce the clutter that's in your life in terms of, it could be problematic people, it could be your own thoughts, it could be anything else that can hinder your progress and not allow you to move forward. The third thing is managing your time, because oftentimes, and I've been in this situation myself, where if you don't manage your time and it becomes a habit where you're constantly either falling short or rushing to things or rushing into agreeing to things, those boundaries could easily be crossed, and before you know it, like it'll get crossed, and later on you figure out like, oh wait, I compromised on something I shouldn't have compromised on. So it's very crucial that you make note of that and take it seriously, because as boring or as strict as it might sound to manage your time, it actually allows you for a lot of leeway and a lot of freedom in your day-to-day life. And just in contrast to what I said earlier, is you need to be, in comparison to what I said earlier, you need to be strict with your boundaries. You need to be strict with managing your time and not making any excuses or giving any leeway to anyone, regardless of who they are in your life. Nobody's gonna know your lane in life any more than you do. So there should be no reason whatsoever why you're allowing external influence to come into your lane and tell you how to run it, tell you how to organize it, and tell you how fast or slow that you should be making progress. And one of the amazing things that comes with setting boundaries is it alleviates, or like essentially it aids in your mental and emotional health. The less drama you have to deal with is as a result of setting boundaries, because there's certain situations that come up and you know exactly what's going to happen. You know the arguments are going to come up, you know the amount of time that's going to be wasted. So you save yourself a lot of time and effort that you would have otherwise invested into useless arguments that, by the way, regardless of what the argument is about, regardless of who you're arguing with, it will drain you mentally and emotionally. And moving forward in life, it can make it very difficult to make any form of progress. You might make bad decisions just to spite anyone, and it's just overall not going to do you any good. So make sure that you also take that into consideration. And there's no shame in it. A lot of people don't talk about like the mental and emotional stability, especially in terms of day-to-day life, but you'll be surprised by how day-to-day activities can drain that. So make note. And one of the last things that I want to talk about is the grass is not greener on the other side. We've all heard that saying and we all understand it. And we've heard the opposite, which is the grass is greener on the other side. Now, depending on the context of what we're talking about and what the situation is, it's going to differ. But in this example where we're talking about staying in our own lane and essentially minding our own business, the grass is not greener on the other side. The grass is only going to get greener on your side if you maintain it and tend to it. So don't look to other people's lives. Don't look to their social media where they post pictures, videos, statuses about how they're doing. Because although there's absolutely nothing wrong with this, but a lot of people aren't going to post their bad days, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you need to keep things private. But don't look to other people and compare yourself to other people's lives because you see a status update, be it LinkedIn, any other social media account. You have not seen the bad days leading up to that good day, and you haven't seen the bad days that followed that good day. So you have no reason whatsoever to just sit around and swerve into other people's lanes. That's none of your business, because as soon as you start swerving on other people's lanes, your lane is left unattended. And if you want to look at it as a field or if you want to look at it as a road, there's no progress being made. And you won't gain any fulfillment if you're swerving into other people's lanes and thinking that you're going to make progress that way. Just take care of your place. And oftentimes one of the things that comes with setting boundaries is silence. Because once you distance yourself from drama, once you distance yourself from situations that you know aren't going to aid you and make your life any better, there's silence. And oftentimes, from what I've heard from people, is a lot of people are scared of that silence. A lot of people, they prefer the petty arguments and the wasted time and then draining themselves mentally and emotionally. They prefer all that as opposed to just being silent and being with themselves. But one of the things that you're going to need to learn on your journey just through life in general is you need to value silence, because there's a lot of good that comes with silence, because you allow yourself to think about yourself. You think about what kind of improvement you've made in your life, what kind of things that you want for the future, and just overall how to solve problems. Because more often than not, absolutely, we can reach out to people and ask for help in solving problems, but not before we try to solve it ourselves. We need to put our utmost honest effort into solving a problem, even if it's through trial and error, because at the end of the day, in terms of life, that's what it's all about. It would be foolish to assume that there's one answer that solves any particular problem. In life, there could be several different answers, and you might stumble on one just by doing trial and error. And there's nothing wrong with that. so long as you're going about your own path and you're fixing things yourself, there's a lot of beauty to it. And the best part of, I don't know about other people, but for my day, the best part of it is the silence. It's when I get to sit down between me and myself, and I get to think about life. I get to think about what my next move is in life. And it was honestly one of the reasons why I went ahead and started this channel. I just sat around one day between me and myself. I was thinking, I was like, you know what? I want to take this leap and go in this direction. I want to get out of my comfort zone and, be a trailblazer in this direction. And it's going on. It's going good. We're 10 videos in, and I don't feel like stopping anytime soon. And I'm eager to continue. So with that said, keep in mind, set boundaries, stay in your lane, and the grass is not greener on the other side in this context. And with that said, have an awesome day, and remember, what are you doing today that'll make the world a better place tomorrow? Leave it in the comment section below, and have a good day.